Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative Podcast. It's the podcast where we have digital discussions of the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports. The 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics have recently concluded, and I am really excited to be joined by, she's an Olympic gold medalist with Team Canada. I'm with Rebecca Johnston, member of Team Canada's women's national hockey team. Rebecca, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Before we get into that, because that game was incredible, we were talking before we went on air. I mean, it was obviously the outcome you guys did not want, but it was an unbelievable game. I mean, you girls should be really, really proud. Like that was fantastic to watch. My question to you is, when did you kind of decide that you wanted to play hockey growing up? Like, was there a certain time in your life where you really you decide you want to play? Like, obviously a lot of people, they know they want to play hockey when they're young, but was there a certain time in your life where you decided that you want to do that?
Yeah, I think when I was really little, I first off, I come from a big family. I'm from Sudbury, Ontario, and there's six of us. So for me, I almost grew up in a hockey family. All my siblings play hockey, and so my two older sisters and older brother played hockey, and I just started playing because they were playing, and I started in the outdoor rink. I'm like minus 30 degrees, and I'd be playing outside, and I'd be with my older sisters and older brother, and I just remember I fell in love with it, just playing with my siblings and playing road hockey outside. It was just a sport that I absolutely loved to play, and I think ever since I was 4 years old, I was destined to play.
So I mentioned it, Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Again, Team Canada versus Team USA in women's hockey is one of the best rivalries in sports. I'm going to say that right now. Some of the games that have happened have been incredible over the past few years. I mean, I'm sure people I've spoken to you about that before. I mean, the rivalry, just every game just seems to be like something happens that's just memorable between those two teams.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows the Canada and USA rivalry. It's they're amazing games when we play against them. It's so much fun, and we always look forward to playing against them. Even this year, we had a 6-game series, plus we played them twice at Four Nations Cup, and then another 2 times at the Olympics. So I mean, it never gets old, and we absolutely love playing against them. It's a heated rivalry. Obviously, we don't like them on the ice, and I think that's what makes it even more special. Is just we know that we have to come out and play our best that game, or else we won't win. So it's definitely a tough battle between both of us, and which makes a lot of fun games to watch.
Marie-Philippe Poulin was the captain of Team Canada in the Olympics, but this is a team for people like myself who grew up watching the program, Canada Women's National Team, every year. You'll see that there are many players that bring leadership qualities. Yourself, Brianne Jenner, Natalie Spooter, Laura Fortino. There's so many players that bring it. Do you think that? So how was that having a bunch of players with a lot of experience, and then you had some new players like Sonia Nurse. Was that kind of? I'm sure that helped them, but how was it? Kind of having that role as that kind of veteran, kind of helping the new players or the players that don't have as much experience as you, because you're a gold medalist. You're part of many of those successful runs. How was that, Rebecca?
It was definitely a new role for me. I mean, I've been on the team actually quite a while, over 10 years. So, I should be used to this right now, but it's definitely a different feeling to help out other players. There's 9 rookies on the team this year, so there's actually quite a bit. And I just remember my first Olympics, there was a lot of, uncertainty or questions that I had, and I had a couple close friends that I was able to talk to and ask that had gone through it. The Olympics before. So for me to just let them know and make sure that they knew that they had, so many people to turn to ask questions or if they needed advice. And our team was really, really good for that. We're always available. I mean, if someone's having a hard time, we noticed and we tried to help in any way we can. And I think the rookies did an amazing job this Olympics in terms of settling their nerves and being ready for anything and playing in key moments. And I just, I tried to do what I could to help the team, because we want everyone to be playing their best. And I embraced that role, and I actually quite enjoyed it. And it's nice to have that experience and just go to the Olympics and just enjoy it and not have to worry.
Obviously, the process of the Olympics, you've been involved with several Olympics, Pyeongchang, Sochi, and what ends up happening is obviously every Olympics, even though it's the Winter Olympic Games, it's going to be a bit different, right? Depending on where it is, the travel and everything. How was it, adapting to Pyeongchang, and were there any similarities to your experiences in Sochi, or was it completely different?
Yeah, every Olympics is quite different. I mean, the time change was crazy. It was like 16 hours or something. So we went quite early to Korea, which was, I think, really good. Was a really good idea, just for us to get accustomed to the time change and get familiar with the culture, and just have some downtime there. So we were just outside Seoul for a couple weeks before we headed to the village. And I mean, it was the same in Sochi, just trying to get used to the culture and the time change. And we did a similar thing in Sochi. And there's so many different Sochi was a lot different than Korea. But I mean, in the end, it was all similar. All the Canadian athletes were there, and you got to experience different sports and get to see different athletes compete and cheer on your fellow Canadians. So it was both memorable experiences. It's been
a week or 2 weeks. Has it been 2 weeks since the game yet?
When was the game? The 22nd. So
there's been some time since the game. And obviously, the gold medal on the line in overtime, and that was an incredible overtime. So my first question is what was going through the team's mind during that overtime? I mean, the pace was just nonstop. Team USA has come a long way as well. They have a lot of players on their team that the wheels on Kendall Coyne are insane. Yeah. So what do you tell, the players on your team, the pace of it, what's going through your head during that overtime period?
You know what, you think I looking back, I'm like, how was I not more nervous, or, you don't want to make a mistake. It's 4-4. It's, you make a mistake and it could be detrimental. And, I just remember thinking, okay, we got this, we can do this. In between the third period going into the overtime, a dressing room felt quite positive, which was really good. I don't think anyone was, or didn't seem like anyone was really nervous or having doubts. And I think for us, we had confidence. We were playing really well that game. We did have a great game, and going into that overtime, it was us just, okay, we have to be positive and reinforce what we need to do in that overtime. And I think both teams really brought it. I mean, it was a really exciting overtime. There was chances on both ends. I'm still kick myself because I hit the post at the end there with a minute and some left. And
Brianne Jenner had a big chance in that period too.
Yeah, before that?
I think so. Or was it or State? Someone had there was a big chance.
Sure. There were definitely chances back and forth, and I remember the minute left when I thought I had scored. I had my hands up, and then I actually saw the film after, and the camera went to the bench, and everyone was jumping, and then they kind of went back down, sad that it didn't go in, and but there's a lot of memorable things that happened in that overtime, and unfortunately we weren't able to score to stop it, but I'm super proud of the team, and I think there's not really a lot more we could have done. So.
And we do have to mention it. I mean, it's the elephant in the room a little bit. I mean, the shootout is something that has a lot of people with split opinions. I mean, a lot of Team USA fans were fine with the shootout, of course, but it would just be great to just have it continue going. I mean, that was like that overtime was amazing and some of the best hockey. And then when it was done, it was just kind of like not necessarily lame, but it was kind of like a completely change of the pace in the whole game, right? So, I mean, what was going on? I'm sure a lot of the questions were asked to you about that. I mean, it was kind of tough not to say, but like with the circumstances, I mean, I'm sure the whole team was in the consensus that they would love to keep it going.
Yeah, I think if you can ask any player, I'm sure people have their opinions, but for the most part, I think every player would want to keep playing. No one wants to win in a shootout. It doesn't really feel like a huge victory in my mind. You want to finish the way like the game is played, and not more. That's more of I feel more of like a skill competition or something like that. So I think to be able to keep playing, and eventually someone's going to score. You start to get exhausted and tired, and at some point someone's going to put the puck in the net. And I think it should just keep playing. And I mean, it's a matter of opinion, I guess. But
and then, like the World Junior Hockey Championship a couple years ago, like Canada USA had like one of the best overtimes I've ever seen, and then losing to a shootout in the to the U.S. and it's the same thing. It's just the momentum, and it is really different. I mean, like I said though, the opportunity to kind of go to Olympics is like must have been incredible. Just the atmosphere. Talk a little bit about the off the ice, like before games or after games or after the tournament. I mean, it just looked like from social media, it just looked like Team Canada was having a good time. Like the Olympic House, the Canada Olympic House looked like it was rocking.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, from Vancouver to Sochi to Korea, I just think we had we always have a great team, but I was closer with a lot of the athletes, and we just have a great Canada team in general. Just all the athletes were close and like to have fun and really supported each other in every event. And there was a lot of athletes at our game, and then we went to the men's game, and there's figure skating and luge and all that. We just were supporting each other throughout everyone's events and really encouraging everyone. And so I think for us, we had fun. We went to the Canada House, and we saw other athletes and we're socializing with them, and we just, especially the last 4 days when we could just relax and take it all in, we were definitely there having fun and just hanging around all the other athletes.
Before the tournament, before you left, on your media day, I spoke to Laura Fortino, Jill Sodney, and Jen Wakefield. And one of the things they were talking about is they were kind of looking forward to the learning experiences that come, because even if you've, like yourself, who's been, playing like for 10 years with a national team, I mean, there's always going to be some learning experiences. You're always going to learn something new at these events. Was there some, what can you take away from Pyeongchang? Like, what can Rebecca Johnston take from Pyeongchang? Was there anything new? Was it kind of similar to your old experience to the Olympics? Like, I'm sure there's some learning experiences there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think as a team, or I guess in general, just losing that game, I think I learned a lot about myself and my teammates and our team in general, just being proud of what we accomplished. We didn't get the result that we wanted, but to be able to take that and really cherish the group that we have and what we did throughout the whole year, I think was amazing. We really came and gelled together as a team, and I think I just learned that to appreciate what we have. And we got a silver medal, and that is still a great accomplishment, but to not be down on that and just be proud of how we played and how I played individually and as a team. I think that's the thing that's what we need to look at more so than the outcome of not winning. So
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, we'll wrap up soon, but the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is you have a communications background, education-wise, and like I have one as well, and I was just curious because I find that really interesting. What made you kind of want to go into communications when you were in school? Like, was that something? Have you always been interested in like the messaging aspect of things and the media? Like, was that what was going through your mind like for that? Like, what I was just curious to hear why you chose communications.
I think for me it was I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do when I was in university, and I still don't really actually, but I was interested in a lot of the classes at school. I'm interested in social media and just in general the media, and what I want to do with it I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was a degree that was general as well, where I could do a lot of things with it, and it wasn't specialized. So I just personally really enjoyed the classes and just thought I'd continue with that. And
are you taking any pointers from Natalie Spooner, the selfie queen?
Selfies aren't really my thing, but
well, they're definitely her thing. And she's been on she's been on the show before too, and I try to give her a little bit of a hard time about that because a lot of selfies. But it's one of those things. So what do you think about social media as an athlete? You kind of studied it too, and playing in the CWHL as well, social media is a big component there. Hot Canada also does a really good job as well. What are your perspectives? Because it could be seen as a double-edged sword. There's good and bad things about social media. Yeah. I'm just curious to see what Rebecca Johnston thinks about social media.
Well, for me, it's something that's it's a fun thing to do. I mean, it's I think it's like a great way to connect with people and show your fans what you're doing. And there are especially as like an Olympian, there's a lot of people that want to know, like, how you train, what you do on an off day, or just what are you doing on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's good for that. Obviously, I think some people can take it too far and really focus too much on that. And so I think for me, I try to have a balance of posting when I need to post and having fun with it, but also focusing on what I need to do and focusing on hockey and what my job is. But so like for instance at the Olympics, it can get overwhelming for sure, all the messages and trying to post all the time. So you really just need to make sure that I think you're responsible with focusing on hockey and what you're there for, and also keeping up with the social media side of things.
Absolutely. So what's I've had time to kind of recharge your battery since Pyeongchang. What's next for Rebecca Johnston?
I'm gonna take a little bit here and just I think relax and get some rest and recovery for sure, and then we'll see. I mean, I think I'll continue playing for a bit and take it year by year. And I don't think I want to stop just yet. I'm pretty motivated to keep playing at this point, but for how long, we shall see.
Very cool. And where can people follow you on social media? What are the handles they should follow?
On social media?
Yeah, for you. Like
okay, rjohnst6. So rrjohnst 6.
Your Twitter blew up, after the games.
My Twitter did?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's a good thing too. Like a lot of athletes were kind of benefiting from that, I really think, and you girls were still posting a lot. There were some athletes that didn't post at all during the Olympics, but the ones that were posting here and there when it was acceptable were benefiting because it was crazy. Like I was following along, it was nuts.
Yeah, like that's what I mean especially for the Olympics. It's that's what I mean when it can get overwhelming, because there's a lot of people that start to follow you. They send you messages. I probably have like a ton of messages I haven't even checked in my inbox or whatever. And
you also have your DMs open, I think, which is a whole other discussion. Yeah, I I brought that up. People don't even realize. Well, we'll talk about that after we go on air.
I don't know. I just ignore it, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much. And seriously, that was an incredible game, and you should be really, really proud. The whole team was amazing, and just to see the passion on display was fantastic. And I wish you all the best in the future as well.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, this has been Popturnative. You can catch previous episodes of Popturnative on YouTube for the video versions, and on iTunes and Spotify for the audio versions. Until next time, it's Rebecca Johnston and PDB signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popturnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.